From wounds to wisdom, how pain transforms into purpose. Welcome, everyone. Today, I want to take you on a journey that begins in darkness but emerges into extraordinary light. I recently had the profound privilege of interviewing Sakinal a visionary whose life's work has fundamentally reshaped how we understand human resilience. Sakinal has devoted decades to studying the alchemy that transforms our deepest wounds into our greatest strengths, creating ripples of healing that have touched thousands of lives across continents. What makes Sakinal's insights so powerful is that they weren't born in the sterile environment of academic theory, but forged in the fire of lived experience and witnessed transformation. Have you ever met someone who endured something so devastating that you wondered how they could possibly still stand, still smile, still extend their hand to help others? I used to think these people possessed something magical that the rest of us lacked, some extraordinary resilience gene that allowed them to transcend what would crush an ordinary person. But what I learned from Sakinal changed everything I thought I knew about human capacity. The truth is both simpler and more profound. Transformation isn't about being superhuman, it's about being fully human, brave enough to look directly at your pain and decide, this will not be the end of my story. The conversation with Sakinal revealed three powerful truths that I believe can revolutionize your understanding of suffering and healing. Your past pain does not define your future purpose. Community support is essential for healing and growth, and giving back, even when unrecognized, creates lasting impact. Let's sit with that first truth for a moment. Your past pain does not define your future purpose. We live in a culture obsessed with labeling people by their traumas: survivor, victim, damaged, broken. But what if those labels are just the beginning of your story, not the end? What if the very experiences that threaten to destroy you could become the foundation upon which you build something beautiful? When I asked Sakinal about this, there was this beautiful, weighted pause. The wound, Sakinal said, is where the light enters. Not just poetic language, but the lived reality of countless individuals who have transformed their deepest hurts into healing, not just for themselves, but for others. Consider John and Carol Diatoma from Overland Park, Kansas. After witnessing how sexual abuse devastated not just children, but entire families, and how community silence only deepened that trauma, they could have retreated into their own pain and anger. Instead, they founded Sacred Sexually Abused Children's Relief Endeavor. What began as a small effort to provide financial support for therapy and legal assistance has blossomed into a nationwide model for survivor advocacy. The Diatomas confronted systems that weren't designed to support survivors. They pushed through the discomfort that comes when we talk about things society would rather ignore. They transformed their heartbreak into action. One mother told them, "Before you helped us, my daughter wouldn't speak. Now she sings." Think about that transformation, from silence to song, from isolation to expression, from wound to wisdom. The Diadomas didn't just build an organization, they built a bridge from suffering to purpose. And in 2025, when they received the National Children's Alliance Volunteer Leadership Award, it wasn't the recognition that mattered most to them. It was knowing that countless children had found their voices again because two people refused to let pain have the final word. This brings me to the second truth Sekinal shared. Community support is essential for healing and growth. We weren't meant to heal alone, yet so many of us, especially those for communities where strength is defined by self sufficiency, try to do exactly that. We've internalized the dangerous myth that vulnerability is weakness, that asking for help means we've failed somehow, that true strength means carrying our burdens in silence. Sakinal challenged this notion with beautiful clarity. Healing happens in community, always has, always will. The idea that we should recover from trauma alone is perhaps the cruelest lie we've ever been told. This truth comes alive in the story of the Breasties, an organization born when five individuals impacted by cancer recognized a painful reality. Existing support networks were fragmented and exclusionary, especially for young women and women of color facing cancer. The isolation was particularly acute among Black women navigating both cancer and the racial stigma that often accompanies it in medical settings. A chance Instagram connection brought together Allie, a young Black woman battling triple negative breast cancer, with Paige, a previvor who had undergone preventative surgery, Trish, another advocate, and Bree, who was coping with ambiguous genetic risk. Instead of accepting the fragmentation they experienced, they created what they couldn't find: an all inclusive community serving survivors regardless of diagnosis, background, or stage. What began as informal meetups has evolved into a national movement with retreats and events serving hundreds annually. The Breasties prove something powerful. Sometimes the community we need doesn't exist yet. Sometimes we have to build it. And in building it, we find our own healing accelerated. As Sakinal put it, when you create the space you needed but couldn't find, you healed the part of yourself that felt alone. This isn't just beautiful, it's revolutionary. It suggests that our healing and our service to others aren't separate paths, they're the same journey viewed from different angles. This leads us to the third truth: giving back, even when unrecognized, creates lasting impact. There's something profoundly healing about helping others, especially when no one is applauding you for it. When you give without expectation of recognition or reward, you're engaging in a pure form of service that transforms not just those you help, but yourself as well. Laura Pahulas embodies this principle through her organization Control Alt Delete. After escaping domestic violence herself, Laura recognized a critical gap in services. Immediate needs like transportation, money, and emergency hotel stays often went unmet by traditional shelters or services at the most critical moments, when someone was actively trying to escape abuse. Her solution was elegantly simple: provide fast digital assistance, sometimes within hours, to facilitate escapes nationwide using technology driven systems. The impact has been staggering. Over 48,000 successful escapes supported since 2019 across all 50 states, with an average cost per intervention of just $16.35. What's remarkable about Laura's story isn't just the efficiency of her model, it's that she started without fanfare or recognition. She simply saw a need and filled it, turning her own painful experience into a lifeline for others. As she once said, I couldn't change what happened to me, but I could change what happens next for someone else. This is the alchemy Sakinal described: the transformation of lead into gold, of trauma into purpose, of personal pain into public healing. As Sakinal reflected, the most meaningful work often happens in the shadows, unrecognized but essential. These three truths: that pain can transform into purpose, that community is essential for healing, and that giving back creates impact even without recognition. form a powerful framework for moving from wounds to wisdom. But how do we actually live these truths? How do we take the first step when we're still hurting? Sakinal offer this guidance. Start where you are with what you have. Your story, even the painful parts, is medicine someone else needs. This isn't about forcing yourself to be okay when you're not. It's not about toxic positivity or spiritual bypassing. It's about honoring your journey while recognizing that healing isn't just something that happens to you, it's something you participate in actively. For those experiencing what Sakinal calls hometown hurt, whether through trauma or feeling unappreciated in your own community, the first step is reaching out rather than retreating. Take one actionable step toward building connection today. Join an advocacy group, volunteer locally, even if it goes unnoticed, or simply share your story in a safe space so others know they're not alone. The journey from wounds to wisdom isn't linear. It's not about getting over your pain, it's about growing through it. It's about allowing your experiences to deepen your capacity for empathy, strengthen your commitment to justice, and expand your understanding of what it means to be human. So today I challenge you, look at your deepest wound, not with shame, not with resentment, but with curiosity. Ask yourself, what does this pain make possible? What understanding does it give me that I couldn't have gained any other way? Who might need exactly the wisdom I've earned through this experience? Then take one small step toward transformation. Reach out to someone who understands. Create the community you wish you'd had. Offer help in the way you once needed it. Because here's what I know for certain after speaking with Sakinal Richard and witnessing these powerful stories of transformation, your pain matters, your healing matters, and what you do with both matters most of all. You are not defined by what happened to you, you are defined by what you choose to do next. And that choice to transform your wounds into wisdom might just be the most powerful legacy you leave in this world. Thank you